elimination tag match with the Four Horsemen combo of Crippler Chris Benoit and Steve Mongo McMichael taking on the US champion Jeff Jarrett with Queen Deborah and Dean Malenko.
And I was listening to Tony Schiavone talking about this pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
He says, Dean Malenko has a legendary sense of humour. And he doesn't seem like he has a legendary sense of humour, but apparently, according to Schiavone, he does have.
I mean, wrestlers going about being funny is like when they go, he's so intelligent. He's a wrestler, he's so intelligent. Yeah, he's read one book. And it's a self-improvement one.
It was just...
I went quiet there, Pete, because I had actually Googled Dean Malenko funny. And there's quite a lot of it. There's an episode of Hey EW, the RJ City sort of thing. And that's described as being insanely funny.
Right. Maybe we need to... Maybe it's just because it's so apart from his kind of on-air and on-ring persona. I just sort of think that, like, you know...
Yeah, AEW's Unrestricted podcast says he is a super funny guy. The Sportsters say, it's quite shocking. Dean Malenko is considered one of the funniest and most entertaining people backstage.
Wow.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fascinating.
I mean, that's funny because you sort of go, your character is an extension of who you are. And his character is very much not funny.
I know.
His character is very serious. Oh, how interesting. Yeah, he's got Parkinson's as well. He's been diagnosed with that. Still working at AEW and everything. And he does seem like a great guy. How not... Oh, there's a good picture of him eating a dog as well. You see, that's the thing I worry about. That's the level of the humour.
That's the level of what they think is funny. Yeah,
he's got a dog, and someone says, "Let's take a photo of you with the dog," and he makes like he's eating it, you go, like that, and they just go, "Classic Dean."
Classic DM.
Who knows?
Is he funny in the sphere of wrestlers who their idea of funny is shitting in someone's bag?
I think what he is, I think he's different. I think he's quite a rare thing in American sports locker rooms, which he's got quite a dry sense of humour.
Right.
And he's quite funny. If you say something to him, he'll sort of zing it back. And
right, okay.
The zinging...
Fuck off! Whoa, this guy.
Eat shit, you skyscraper. What?
How sardonic.
I was thinking, he's one of those people who, like, he sort of reminded me of dads of people that I knew. And I would go, oh, that dad's really funny. And someone else would go, I think he's a real weirdo. And he had slightly that vibe where he was funny, but you can imagine kids just going, I don't get that. Look, jury's out.
Yeah,
but
he's not necessarily improv. He's just got a good set of zingers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, RJ City does say to him at one point, as you're so funny and you're known for it, why are you so unfunny in your entire career when we've seen you out there? And he sort of just goes, well, I was never really good at just coming up with it off the thing. He said, I'd react to people. And he's sort of a reacting guy.
Right. I'm a reacting guy. I've got nothing else. I can't lead the conversation.
Well, I mean, that's great. That's great, but that's what people want. You don't want someone coming in and going, hey, waka, waka, waka. It's like the worst people. You're James Corden.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
There is an occasional vuvuzela that you begin to hear in the background of this match, and it pops up.
Why does that exist now? Is that not just a misfiring motorbike?
I would have thought so, but it's definitely the sort of sad honk of a vuvuzela. The saddest instrument of all, the vuvuzela. It's
pretty foul.
It's mournful.
If he can get him turned over, and he's got it. No, he was too close to the ropes. There, you saw Mongo. He wanted to come in, but he noticed that Benoit was hooked into the ropes. Malenko back to the attack again.
I mean, look, I'm going to say this. You got Benoit in there, obviously asterisk, and Mongo McMichael. You got Jeff Jarrett and you got Dean Malenko. The best pro wrestler in this match is Mongo McMichael. He comes out and he's the first person we've seen in the show so far who's actually being like a good old-fashioned pro wrestler. He's jawing off. He's interacting with the crowd. He's pointing at people. He looks like he's angry, doing silly big moves, and he's shouting, "Oh baby," a lot as well. I mean, it's all basic, but I did sort of go, you're the best one.
Yeah, especially because he's quite like hard hitting in this match, and the whole kind of setup is funny because it's like Steve McMichael, he looks like a tough monster. Benoit, we all know everything we need to know about him.
Yeah.
Dean Malenko, ice cold killer.
Yep.
And then Jeff Jarrett, like a fabulous, eyebrowless angel boy. And it's just, where's that come from? Where does he fit in?
He's I thought exactly the same thing. I sort of felt like he was a man out of time in this match, even though I think he's the youngest of the four.
Right, yeah, okay.
Felt like someone from 1982, didn't he?
He's like, is it Paul Hogan plays that angel that comes down?
Yes.
And it looks like he's sort of haunting everyone.
That's
he's
right.
trying to make them change their ways by like having fun and stuff. He's not Right Said Fred. What was that film that Rick Mail was in?
Drop Dead Fred.
He's Drop Dead Fred.
Yes. It's also because his hair. He could be a contemporary of Mozart, right? And so you're sort of a little bit like, oh, it's. I know what this match is. It's a funny comedy about a dead composer who's ended up being a modern wrestler. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh, God.
I mean, Jarrett is just, he imbues that sort of 1970s, 80s soft working Southern Memphis style, and he's very good. I mean, but he does very little in a lot of the matches that you see him in. You can see why he's in such good shape now, because he's had a long career of not really taking any punishment in any way. Like in this match, the whole story is Mongo wants to get his hands on Jeff Jarrett because Jarrett has stolen his wife and she's now accompanying him to ring. And he wants to get his hands on him, and Jeff Jarrett just is like, keep back, I'm not getting in the ring with you, I'm not getting in it. So Southern. The Southern crowds were brought up on a wrestling that was just about people refusing to get touched by the other one. Just they worked that crowd so well that by not doing wrestling, the crowd were like, this is the best wrestling I've ever seen in my life. Jarrett in this, just suddenly he gets into the ring with Mongo, he holds on to Mongo, falls on his back, holds Mongo on top of him, and the referee counts the pin. And Mongo didn't want to pin him, he wanted to beat him up. But Jeff Jarrett then sort of goes back. His plan has worked, and he's been pinned without taking any punishment. Couple of things there. One, easier way to do it would be to come in and hit Mongo with like a stick, and then you'll be disqualified and you can go, right? You don't have to do all the rigmarole.
Just push someone over who's not involved in the match.
Spit at the referee. Just spit, flob right in his face.
Get your knob out.
Exactly. Pull down your pants or your opponent's pants. The match is over. All done. Secondly, no one in this crowd is going to understand what has just happened because the commentators do explain it. But if you were watching this, you'd just be like, oh, that looks shit. What was? Oh, that was rubbish. And then thirdly, I mean, this is one of the first times that I think in WCW you've seen someone basically takes a fall, and they do that within the context of a storyline. So people laying down and being pinned, and their opponents going, "I can't believe I've pinned him, and I didn't want to or mean to. What's going on?" That would begin to become a thing that really, really acted like a fast-acting poison in this business. WCW's thing of people laying down and screw jobs and double crosses.
They were big on that, weren't they?
Oh, they loved it, and it was so bad. Malenko in this match then has to fight on his own, and poor old Malenko, he has a rough time with this. Benoit gives him a tombstone, he gets the flying headbutt, and then Mongo does a tombstone, and Malenko is pinned. It was fine. It was fine. Yeah. Considering the talent in the match, you'd think it would be a lot better, but it really wasn't. They got the next match. It's Ric Flair taking on Syxx, aka 1-2-3 Kid Lightning Kid, or X-Pac, however you want to do it.
I don't like the way Syxx is spelt. I never have and I never will.
No,
it's confusing. He's too karate kicky to have like Syxx, which sounds a bit spooky. I know it's a bit like it's a bit rock, but it feels Syxx feels supposed to be spooky.
Yeah, it was because he was the 6th member of the NWO, and it's not like they were bothered about who 5 was or 4 or 7. They were just suddenly like, it's 6. 6 is very important. It does sort of, I suppose, give him the X's that do follow him around for the rest of his career. With his X-Pac and his this, that, the other. Six-Pac, he was called at one point when he was in 3PW in about 2002, and I think in TNA as well.
I guess 1, 2, 3 added together is 6. That makes sense as well.
Look at that. I mean, the numerology of 6 is actually amazing. I think 1, 2... Do you know what? I think I've actually mentioned this before as being he was the 6th member of the NWO, and a lot of people did bring me up and say it's 1, 2, 3 also together. So well done, Pete. You crack these
Parallel
codes.
Thinking there. It feels a bit Manson-y.
Yeah, it does. They have it in this this match, one of the people in the audience who they just focus on is Clifford Lynn, who is the mayor of Sturgis, and he's waving. Absolutely no mention of him in any capacity at all online. So this, it seems
probably
like
because he dressed informally and went to bloody motorbike. Well, he dressed badly, wasn't he?
I mean, the only sort of like official proof that he was ever mayor of Sturgis is basically Road Wild 1997. Otherwise, it just doesn't exist. He
what
probably,
a legacy.
He probably tells people he was the mayor, and they check it out and they just go, "Oh, Clifford's full of shit." And it's like, hey, I can prove it. Here's a video of WCW Road Wild 1997. Although it wasn't released in the US. This one, it was only released in the UK. It was UK.
Oh wow, was that some kind of weird?
So I hope your video is multi-region to prove I was the mayor.
Pal,
oh, how very
got access to the network doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Clifford.
Poor
no
Clifford.
one believes him. Well, he can have this podcast. You can listen to a podcast if you don't know, Clifford. Clifford, I don't care.
Clifford.
I mean, look, we don't see a lot of X-Pac. I feel like he's around all the time, but we never get to see him in any decent matches. And this might be the best period of his entire career.
He's good, isn't he? I liked it when he did his karate kick and Ric Flair did a little dance.
Yes.
Sort of, as if to sort of go, well, I'm not doing any of that. Yeah. But maybe it's because Ric Flair's a bit flat in this match.
Yes.
Maybe Syxx really shines. But he's great in this match. He's great.
It comes out like he's got complete arrogance. He's also seems to be like, this is what I do. He seems zen almost, like in the ring. Yeah. Really trust him in this match. He just seems so on it. He might be absolutely fucked because he did spend a lot of this period quite off his tits. And I shouldn't imagine that going to a biker rally is the sort of place where he's going to go, well, I couldn't find anything today. He's got the word thug in Old English letters across his chest as well. And that's an aesthetic that I don't really associate with you, but I really liked that outfit. I was really impressed with it. I was like, it just looked good.
It's like a short Kevin Nash. He's like here, Thug for some reason forever will remind me of Tony Hawk's Underground, the pretty good version of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game. So Thug has completely wiped my brain, and all I think about is Tony Hawk.
Really,
it was not a thug.
I think of Thug Life, which is Cena, isn't it, as well?
Right.
Oh, he's the furthest thing from a thug. He's like all thugs, absolutely obsessed with men in uniform. Absolutely obsessed. Flair then comes out, and I love the sort of dichotomy between six-pack and his thug top in this sort of dirty arena. And then Flair comes out in his rhinestone gown, and everyone's revving on their motorbikes. And, for a man who will never have got on a motorbike in his life, he'd have felt that was really low class and, good way to damage your clothes.
Maybe to get away from, like, a girls' school at night.
Yeah. There's loads of people with, like, cheap cameras as well, and they're all taking photographs of
Flair. All done on cameras. They're probably really expensive back then.
Yeah.
But, like,
what a shame, eh? Just enjoy the show instead of living through your bloody camera. What are you going to do? Look at them after? People have always been doing that. I've got more and more. I'm beginning to question everything about modern life. And one of the things I'm beginning to question is when they're like, look at all these people taking videos of the fireworks. And it's like, do you know what? It doesn't matter if you see it with your real eyes or you see it through your screen, as long as you're having a nice time. I'm watching this back in 1997 where everyone's got their cameras up when Ric Flair comes in. It's a tale as old as time. Don't be big babies. But look, I really did enjoy this match. You're right about Flair not being, he's not 100% in this, but I think that's also because it's a crowd who, they do give Flair a reception. They really rev for him and they're excited to see him to some degree. But it's not a crowd who are admiring his art, if you like. But you get with this too, it felt like the 80s meeting the 90s, 87 versus 97. And Flair is sort of like a late period Frank Sinatra, and you've got Syxx, who's like a sort of Johnny Rotten character.
Yeah. And Syxx is booked quite strong in this match, and like he gets all of the offense, and Flair gets very little to do, really.
You get that impression as well that Flair does that because he quite likes this kid. It is a fun match. I don't think that like Syxx or X-Pac I don't think he had enough 20-minute matches. You see him do this, at a high level, and you really go, oh gosh, I can actually watch quite a lot of Syxx and X-Pac. And you tend to just think of him being in the background doing crotch chops and looking vaguely disgusting. And I was watching this thinking, oh no, actually, I could quite happily watch a best of X-Pac 8 DVD set, and I'd probably come out of it go, right, I want volume 2 now.
Right,
I really enjoyed that. They slightly set it up as a submission contest where he has a cross chicken wing called the Buzzkill, which no one remembers that being his finishing move, I'm sure, versus the figure 4. It just ends, really well, where Syxx comes in with his bronco buster while Flair's in the corner, and Flair just lifts his foot up and gets him right in the nuts. And it looks absolutely devastating, really horrible, hangs off. Like Flair's foot has gone into that gap between his hips ball joint and the sort of pelvis. And then he just pins him with his feet on the ropes. But Syxx makes no attempt to even kick out at any point. He's just really too injured. And I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's got me really into Syxx, that match, in a way that I haven't been into a wrestler this year. And now all I'm doing is thinking, I want to see some Syxx matches.
I want to see some more Syxx.
I don't know how to go about it now. I used to be able to just type in a name, but there we are. Can't keep going on about it every week, but it's the worst thing that's ever happened. Tony does mention the wrestlers have all driven in as well from their show in Detroit. They drove across Minneapolis and Minnesota. It was quite a trek, he says. I mean, don't do it. They're driving along the road, no helmets, no shirts.
Just covered in flies.
Oh, my God. I was just thinking, if one of them had come off, you're just skinned, like when you take the zest off a lemon. Just Scott Steiner barreling down a sort of rough road. Just, absolutely disgusting. Rick Steiner does have a helmet on, although it did look like it might have been a Nazi helmet, which...
It was a new bit of merch he bought.
Yeah, just a pan he'd got his head stuck in.
He's trying to kill a mouse. He did the pan and it ended up on his head.
His potty stuck on his head, on his pants.